Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Brigazoid's Den. As you may or may not have seen, last week, I believe it was last week, I did a Owl House Season 1 episodes ranking. So I ranked all 19 episodes of the first season of The Owl House, of course, and now I am here to do Season 2A as Owl House Season 2B slowly draws closer. March 19th cannot come soon enough, and at the time of this recording, it is March 5th. There is 2 weeks from today, actually, is going to drop the first episode of Season 2B, as well as the first episode of Season 3B of Amphibia as well. So, very exciting stuff here, and I am super excited to get into this ranking. This will probably be a little bit shorter of a video, or not shorter of a video, but shorter compared to the Season 1 ranking, because there's only 10 episodes in this Season 2A. So, yeah, we'll get going into it right now. To start off the ranking here, I have number 10, which is going to be episode 10 of Season 2A, which is Yesterday's Lie. If you watched my, video breakdown, or whatever it was, well, I don't even remember what I did, discussion breakdown of the episode, you'll know that I was not too much of a fan of this one, really, especially for a Season 2A, finale, or mid-season finale, I should say. So, yeah, this episode was a little bit, disappointing for me, and I had actually recently watched it. I actually recently watched all of Season 2A, just to kind of get back into the spirit of the Owl House. And, yeah, it still holds the same spot here. I just really was not too big into this episode. Wasn't really my kind of episode, and I think it felt like a very different feel from the rest of the episodes in the season, being more very heavily story driven and things like that. And it wasn't this one more felt to me a little bit like a filler episode, and it kind of just didn't. It didn't. I don't like the idea, or I didn't like the whole Luz being on Earth and being having her mother having letters written to her, and then it ends up just being a basilisk character. I would have liked it to be something a little bit more impactful than that. I don't know if we're ever going to see this basilisk character ever again. We'll have to see. I mean, we'll probably see them again, but V, I think their name was. But I believe we'll see V again, but it just, I don't know. It was kind of disappointing, and I would have liked maybe if it was something like Belos related, like the Emperor's Coven or something. And I even thought of a theory, like what if it was Ida who was writing the letters this whole time to try and keep Luz there for some sort of reason. I don't know, but yeah, overall, it was kind of disappointing to find out that it was just this random basilisk, escaped basilisk character. But yeah, we'll move on to episode or number 9 here. Number 9 here on this ranking of the season 2A Owl House episodes is going to be Keeping Up Appearances. Now, this is another episode I, of course, watched while rewatching season 2A, and yeah, I don't know. It's not my kind of episode either. I mean, compared to the other episodes in this season 2A, it was absolutely spectacular. This episode to me was a little bit not boring, just there are some parts where I'm like, okay, I can check my phone right now. I don't need to watch this part. There was some of that going on, and I don't really usually check my phone whenever I watch a show, because I want to be watching the show, not my phone. So yeah, that this episode kind of invokes that. Yeah, I'm gonna go take a look at what's going on my phone currently while watching this episode. And I liked the introduction of Ida and Lilith's mother, Gwendolyn Clawthorne. That was good to see, and I'm very excited to hopefully meet the Mr. Clawthorne. I think his name was Dale Clawthorne. I think his name is going to be in the series. So I'm excited to meet him and learn about his story, his relationship with Ida, because of course Ida, when she was younger, clawed out his eye and messed him up there. So again, I would love to see how he fits into all of this, and I would love to meet him, of course. And we are getting a Season 2B Lilith episode alongside Luz. I think Elsewhere, Elsewin, I think was the episode title. So maybe we'll be meeting Dale Clawthorne there. That would be really exciting. But either way, this episode overall was mainly about Ida and Lilith dealing with the curse, and Gwendolyn saying that she finally found a cure and things like that, but ended up getting scammed and all this stuff, and she took the the elixirs there away from Ida and Lilith, so they ended up turning into the owl beasts, And yeah, mainly a bunch of problems happened just relating regarding that, I guess. As well as there was a smaller plot line where King and Lilith were sulking around because their parent figures weren't really in their lives much, so they kind of had a bit of a what is it? Um, that's something in common, I guess, when it came to that. So we'll move on to episode. I mean, keep saying that. We'll move on to number 8 on the list. Next up on the list, we have number 8, and this is actually going to be the premiere episode, which is Separate Tides. This will be season 2A, episode 1. Like I said, Separate Tides. And again, I think when I made this was a while ago. This is very beginning of the channel, actually. I made an Owl House video combining all the first, 7 episodes, I think, because I didn't do them weekly. I didn't do like the breakdown videos or discussion videos weekly, so I ended up making an hour and a half video of the first 7 episodes. This was included, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I said that I liked it and that I thought it was a very, very good premiere, and I still think that holds up today. I think after rewatching this season 2A, I really, really did enjoy this premiere. I liked the introduction of the Golden Guard, as well as how the show kind of brought us back into the lives of these characters, with Luz trying to make a video for her mother, and that's kind of how we got all the information, the background information on what Ida is doing, and King and Lilith and everybody like that. So overall, I would say it was a very successful premiere, season 2 premiere, and the storyline was a lot of fun. It's definitely going to be a very big. I don't know if it's going to be a very big part in this upcoming season, but the Selkie-Damas scale is very, very important to making a Grimwalker, which as as the theories have said, we believe that Hunter, or the Golden Guard, is a Grimwalker clone of Bellows. So I won't do theories here, but I think I've already made a theory video for season 2B a little while back. But point is, the Selkie-Damas scale is very important, and this story was very good. And Golden Guard was a very cool character, and he gets used a lot in this season 2A, and I'm excited to see more of him. And overall, Separate Tides was a very good premiere. Next up on the list, we have number 7, which is going to be, I think this is episode 6, episode 6, that sounds right? I think that sounds right. And this is Hunting Palisman. Now, this is a Hunter/Golden Guard episode. This is really when we get to learn a lot about Hunter, and have him without his mask on, without his full Golden Guard outfit on, and we get to see his face and his hair and everything like that. Overall, this is a really fun episode where we get a lot of very cool world building. We get to see a new town called, oh no, I just watched this episode too, Latissimus? I don't remember what it was, but it is another town besides just Bonesborough in the Owl House, the Owl House series on the Boiling Isles that we got to see. And there was really, like I said, really cool world building, great information on Hunter and just kind of who he is as a character, as well as a pretty fun adventure story of them, and Luz and Hunter ended up fighting Kikimora, where of course, if you've watched the Owl House before, you've noticed or you've seen that sometimes with very important fight scenes, they include this very well done animation, and they did include this that kind of animation in this episode as well, when Hunter faced off against Kikimora at the end of the episode, as Luz escaped with the Palisman with the hand dragon thing. But yeah, this is a cool episode where we got to see a lot of our side characters as well, our school characters, our Hexside characters, get their own Palisman creatures, which was very, very cool to see as well. So overall, very fun adventure for an episode, and great character information on Hunter, and a little bit of Kikimora as well, and of course also building the world of the Boiling Isles. Next up on the list here, we have number 6, which is going to be, I believe this one is episode 7? I think it's 7, which is Ida's Requiem. And this was another amazing, amazing episode where we got a new character, and as well as, more information on Ida's past, and also the confirmation that King is now going to be a Clawthorn, which is very cool. That was a great thing at the end that they did there. But talking about this new character, our new character, Rain Whispers, who was super fun in the episode. they run a resistance against the Emperor's coven and like Emperor Bellus's ways and things like that. And they are, of course, a part of the Bard Coven. This is the first time we really got to see a lot of the Bard Coven using their music and just the Bard Coven in general, really. We haven't seen too many characters, or none of our main characters or main cast really are a part of the Bard Coven track. A lot of side characters are, but we didn't really touch upon those characters in the past seasons. But now we get a full blown episode with a Bard Coven character, in this case, the Bard Coven leader, of course, Rain Whispers, and how they run this like resistance against the Emperor's Coven, and is kind of being like a double agent in this case, where they are the leader of the Bard Coven, or the head of the Bard Coven, and also the leader of this resistance group, which Ida joins in the episode after feeling like she's gonna be left when she's older, because of course King is gonna go looking for his dad, and then Luz is gonna go back to the human realm. So she ends up joining this resistance, and eventually it kind of gets dismantled by the end of the episode because Kikimora captures Rain Whispers, and we still haven't got a follow-up episode on that. I believe we will get one in season 2B, a follow-up episode on Rain Whispers and them having to be saved. And then what else happened? Oh, we also got a look at the Abomination Coven leader as well as the Beastkeeping Coven leader, which was very cool. Both of those characters are very cool. I think they were Darius and Eberwolf, I think their names were. Again, overall, very, very cool characters. A very good episode, and that is at number 6. We are now halfway through the list, and now we are jumping to number 5 on the ranking here, where we have episode 4, which is Echoes of the Past. This is a very good episode, because this is a one plot line, a nice A plot line of just King, which is, well, not just King, but mainly King's backstory, which is a very important thing because King is a main character. He's a part of the Trinity main group here. So it is very important to get some information on him, and I'm so glad that this season, and season 2, I mean, they are using King and actually giving him like a very, very interesting storyline that will continue in season 2B, I am sure, and that is very exciting. Of course, we learn in other episodes, King ends up getting sonar abilities with his voice, and in this episode, we learn about his past, mainly his like where he might have heritage and ancestors still living in the Boiling Isles. But this episode gives us again just really nice background on King. It's good to have this kind of information, even though nobody believed him. Luz didn't believe him. Lilith, Hootie, none of them believed that King was actually the king of demons. When they go to this temple here, and they see, these large murals and different, old writings and things like that, they gotta believe it. But we actually believe that King's dad was the king of demons, who we still don't know if we've seen King's dad. We have seen a ancestor of King, that is for sure, but we don't know if it's actually King's dad or if it's just some sort of ancestor of King yet. But that will definitely, I think, be revealed in season 2B, which I cannot wait for. That'll be a great episode, whatever it ends up being. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for that one. That is at number 5, and that is Echoes of the Past. Next up, for number 4 on the list here, we have Escaping Expulsion, which is episode 2. And this is a great episode to pick up after Separate Tides, which was, like I said, a great premiere episode. And this is a great following episode where we get a lot of Amity. We get to learn about Amity's family, which is Odalia Blight and Alador Blight. Big fan of Alador. Love to see Alador all the time. I want more of him. Because I think he was only really in this episode. And I think both, actually, Odalia and Alador were only in this episode, really. And then they were never really used again for the rest of Season 2A. I could be wrong, but yeah. I know they make so basically, Amity's family makes abomination weapons. So abomatons, which are robots, like robot protectors, which at the end of the episode, the Emperor's Coven purchases and now uses them in other episodes. I remember Kikimora used them in Ida's Requiem when she captured Rain, and then also they were used in, what was that episode called? Eclipse Lake, episode 9, Eclipse Lake, as like mine carts as well as guard protectors, which was cool to see. But different uses for these what are they called? The abomatons, but basically, episode follows Luz, Gus, and Willow getting expelled or expelled. No, what is the word? Is it expelled? I may be expelled from school, I think, by Odalia and Alador, because they want to try and keep Amity, in their control. Well, mainly Odalia wants to keep Amity in her control, and basically Luz wants to get her friends back into Hexside, so she has to go and do like this show, showing off all the weaponry and things like that for the Blight family, and then Amity saves them, and this kind of not kickstarts, but continues to build Luz and Amity's relationship throughout Season 2A. But overall, it is a very good episode, and that is why it's at number 4. For number 3 on the list here, we have Through the Looking Glass Ruins, which is episode 5, I think. Is it episode 5? I think it's episode 5. Anyways, this episode is a pretty cool episode because we get a lot of Amity and Luz relationship building, as well as an amazing ending part where Amity and Luz's relationship basically, I don't know, gets started for season 2. No, what would I describe it as? The idea of Luz and Amity becoming girlfriend and girlfriend kind of gets started from this moment as Amity kisses Luz at the end of the episode, which was like a huge whoa moment. Very exciting. So basically, the entire episode is Amity and Luz go to the library because Gwendolyn Clawthorne told Luz that there were once humans on the Boiling Isles. There's you can go read at the library and get books on them, and Amity tries to help out Luz to find those books. Again, if it's just Luz and Amity, there's going to be so much relationship building between them, and that was great to see. There's also another plot line with Gus and him trying to impress a bunch of students from Glandis High, which is a, competing school on the Boiling Isles. So that was a interesting storyline, I guess. I mean, I liked more the ending where it was talking about Gus and Methalamule, and also this the illusionist graveyard keeper or something like that. I forget. I don't know his name, but them maybe returning back to this setting, which was an illusionist graveyard with these Golder Stones, which are very important as well for, I believe, making Grimwalkers, the Golder Stones there. So those are important to know about. But yeah, I would be interested in going back to this setting of this illusionist graveyard in another episode. I don't know when they would do it, but either way, that is at number 3, and that was a very good episode. The Through Looking Glass was a very good episode, and there you go. Next up, we have number 2 on the list here. We're in the final 2, and this episode is Eclipse Lake. This is episode 9 of season 10, I think, right? Yeah. So, I think, yeah, it is. So, with Eclipse Lake, I kind of feel like maybe this should have been, well, actually, it wouldn't make sense in continuity order, because I was going to say this should have been the season 2A finale, because of how good of an episode this was, but I guess it wouldn't really work in continuity, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyways, Eclipse Lake is a very, very well done story where Luz is sick, so Luz can't do anything. That's how they kind of get Luz out of the episode, and now we have Amity, Ida, and King going to these caves to look for Titan's blood, which is a ingredient for going back home to make a key and go back home to the human realm. So Amity, Ida, and King go on this journey to this cave where the Emperor's Coven has already kind of set up their spots, their outposts as well. So then, they have to fight the Emperor's Coven. They capture Hunter, and they're able to kind of Amity and Hunter are able to interact. And like I was talking about earlier with this smooth animation that they do for very important fight scenes, they also use that here as well with Amity and King. I guess King would be counted in this situation as well, versus Hunter, which is an amazing fight in the cave where I think there was Fool's Blood, which is like a fake version of Titan's Blood, I think it was. And that was an amazing fight, like I said. And overall, just a really great episode. We got more of Ida in her harpy form, which we learn about in another episode, or that gets started in another episode. King, I think, does use his powers to fight Hunter in the fight scene, and we get some Kiki Morris stuff. Get to see some Emperor Coven guards, this guard leader who can use it looked like telekinetic abilities. I don't know if that was her, if that was something else, but every time I watch the episode, it looks like this general character has these telekinetic abilities. But overall, I could talk about Eclipse Lake forever and ever and ever, so I will stop it here, and that is at number 2. All right, so number 1 on the list here of all these Season 2A episodes of The Owl House ranked from 10 to 1, I guess. And that number 1 is episode 8 of Season 2A, Knock, Knock, Knockin' on Hootie's Door. Of course, a play on the song by Guns N' Roses, Knock, Knock, Knockin' on Heaven's Door. So, with this episode, it is 3 separate storylines of Hootie going out and trying to help his friends around the Owl House. So he starts with King, where he tries to find out what kind of demon King actually is. I think there were 3 different options. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but Hootie does like a bunch of trials and tests on King to try and figure out what kind of demon he is, and eventually they conclude that he doesn't know really. So after King kind of gets really mad at Hootie, he ends up showing off his powers, which he just found out about, where he gets these sonar screaming abilities with his voice, and I cannot wait to see them be used in Season 2B. Now, the next storyline is it was a really good one. Maybe it might be my favorite of the 3 storylines here, because it was just such like a trip, if anything, I guess you could say, where Hootie basically drugs Ida and makes her fall asleep, and Ida goes through like this whole dream sequence where she eventually at the end becomes friends with the Owl Beast, or kind of like a mutual respect, I guess. So the Owl Beast is now going to be like more respected than a problem. You know, she can actually control it and become, as they call in this show, Harpy Ida, where she basically looks like Ida, but she has wings and just kind of like half Owl Beast, half Ida. And it is very cool. It's a very cool development. It gives Ida new abilities, just like King got new abilities. And then the third and final storyline in Knock Knock Knockin' on Hootie's Door is the Luz and Amity storyline. So at this point, I think we haven't seen Amity since I want to say it was since Through the Looking Glass runs. I think, yeah, I want to say it was that. And now Amity and Luz are back together, reunited. And Hootie basically sets up a tunnel of love that Luz tries to destroy because she doesn't feel ready to tell Amity that that she wants to go out with her or date her or anything like that. So she destroys it, and then eventually at the end of the episode, Amity and Luz become girlfriend and girlfriend, which is of course a long-running thing that started in Season 1 that fans have been wanting for a long time. I as well, and now it finally happened. It is super exciting. And yeah, that was really it. It was a lot of just Hootie helping out everybody, thinking that he messed it up, but he really did help out everybody. So that is number 1 for Season 2A. So there it is. That is my Owl House Season 2A ranking of every episode, all 10 episodes there, all ranked up, and I am super excited for Season 2B, which will be coming out on March 19th. Oh, I can't wait. And that's going to have 11 episodes, I believe, and that's 11 weeks of fun stuff to take a look at for the Owl House, as well as Amphibia. I don't want to bring Amphibia down or anything, but I'm more excited for Owl House personally. I will be covering both episodes, or both episodes from both shows. So Owl House is going to get covered on Saturday, and then later on Saturday, my Amphibia video will probably come out as well. I don't know. I still got to figure out how I'm going to do that, because that's going to be a lot of recording, because they're both like half-hour episodes, roughly around there. So either way, I will do my best. And yeah, if you enjoyed that video, do the common YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later.